You know that feeling, right? You get a new phone and it's amazing until the next model drops. Suddenly, yours is crawling. Or your washing machine just dies the day after the warranty runs out. It's so frustrating. But what if it's not bad luck? What if it's all part of the plan?
Yeah, if you've ever suspected something's up, you're not wrong. It's not some crazy conspiracy theory. That little voice in your head telling you your gadgets have a built-in death date, well, it's based on a very real and really old business strategy.
And there is a name for it, planned obsolescence. It's pretty simple, really. The whole point is to make you buy stuff more often by, well, making the stuff you already have not last as long. It's a strategy, a deliberate one, all about getting you to open your wallet again and again.
So you're probably thinking this is a new thing, right? Something that came along with smartphones and all our tech, but nope. The roots of this go way back, almost 100 years actually. It started when companies ran into a really interesting problem. What do you do when everyone who wants your product already has it? Okay, let's hop in a time machine and go back to the 1920s. Cars were all the rage in America, the market was on fire. But there was a problem brewing. What happens when everybody who can buy a car already has one? How do you keep the sales numbers up? And this is where two absolute giants of industry went head to head. You've got Henry Ford, who was all about building one car, the Model T, and building it to last forever. Simple, durable, for everyone. But then you have this guy at General Motors, Alfred P. Sloan Jr., and he has a totally different playbook. He starts changing the style of the cars every single year. It wasn't about making a better car. It was about making last year's car look old. It was a genius move based on want, not need. And guess what? It totally worked. By 1931, GM blew right past Ford to become number one. So GM got the ball rolling, and the idea just kept evolving. Get this, in 1932, right in the middle of the Great Depression, an economist actually suggested making this stuff mandatory to kickstart the economy. Can you imagine? Luckily, that never happened. The idea really got its modern polish in 1954 from a designer named Brooks Stevens. He's the one who gave us the definition we basically use today, making you want something a little newer, a little better, a little sooner than is necessary. All right, so that's the history. But how does this 100-year-old idea play out today? Well, let's just say the methods have gotten a lot smarter, and they're hiding in plain sight in pretty much everything we own. Today's playbook really boils down to four main tactics. First up is contrived durability, which is just a fancy term for built to break. Then you've got prevention of repairs, making it impossible to fix your own stuff. Third is programmed obsolescence, which is when the software itself is the problem. And last, perceived obsolescence, which is that old GM trick of making your perfectly good stuff feel old. Let's dig into each one. Okay, contrived durability. Look at this. It's a tiny plastic latch from a blender. This little piece takes a ton of stress, and surprise, surprise, it's made of cheap, brittle plastic. So when it snaps, and it will snap, you can't just buy a new one for a few cents. Oh no, the company will only sell you the whole motor for a price that makes you go, I might as well just get a whole new blender. And that right there is the entire point. Here's another one, your electric toothbrush. The battery in it can only be charged so many times before it dies. And since they seal that battery inside where you can't possibly replace it, they've basically slapped a death clock on the whole thing. Battery's dead, well, I guess the whole toothbrush is just trash now. It's so wasteful. Next up, prevention of repairs. See these screws? They aren't your normal everyday screws. Nope, they're a special shape, a pentalobe screw. Companies like Apple use them for one reason, to keep you from opening your own device. It's a big keep out sign. Add in a bunch of glue and no available spare parts, and what are your options? Either pay for their super expensive repair or just buy the new model. And then there's programmed obsolescence. This one is infuriating. We've all been there. Your printer just stops working, says the ink is empty, but you know there's ink left in there. Well, that's because a tiny chip inside the cartridge hit some random page limit and just told the printer to quit. The cartridge isn't empty. It's been literally programmed to fail. And finally, we're back to that mind game, perceived obsolescence. This is 100% about style, not function. Think about fast fashion. New trends pop up every month so you feel like your closet is ancient. It's the exact same thing with phones. Is the new one really that much better? Or does it just have the cameras moved around a little and a fancy new color? They market the heck out of it just to make your perfectly good one-year-old phone feel like a dinosaur. So for years and years, we all just kind of accepted this. It's just how it is. But that's changing. There's a huge global movement fighting back against this disposable culture. It's called the right to repair, and it is picking up some serious steam.
And governments are really starting to pay attention. I mean, check this out. In France, this isn't just a bad practice, it's against the law. If a company gets caught doing this on purpose, they could be on the hook for fines up to 300,000 euros. We're even talking potential jail time for the execs. And it's not just France. This is happening all over the world. The whole EU passed a game-changing rule that says most devices have to have batteries you can replace yourself by 2026. That's a huge shot across the bow for that contrived durability trick. The UK has its own right to repair laws, too. And here in North America, places like California, New York, and Quebec are passing laws that force companies to sell spare parts and share repair guides. The tide is definitely turning. All this pushback is bringing us to a really interesting moment. This whole fight over how our stuff is made, how long it should last, and who has the right to fix it, it's really just heating up. So where do we go from here? Well, it's not a simple debate. You've got supporters who argue, hey, this is just competition. This is what pushes technology forward and gives us better, cooler stuff every year. But then you have the critics who say, hold on. This is an incredibly wasteful system. It rips off customers and creates these massive mountains of e-waste that are poisoning the planet. So, is there a better way? There's this alternative idea that's getting a lot of buzz, and it's called the cradle-to-cradle model. See, right now, we're on a cradle-to-grave path. We dig stuff up, make something, use it for a bit, and then bury it in a landfill. Waste. This new model imagines a circle. Products are designed from day one to be taken apart easily, so all those valuable bits and pieces can become the raw materials for brand new things. The big idea here is to get rid of waste altogether. And that really brings it all back to a final, really important question, because the future here isn't just up to the big companies or the politicians. A ton of the power is actually with us, with you and me. The things we choose to buy, the companies we decide to support, that sends a huge message. So we all have to ask ourselves, what do we really want? Do we want the shiny new thing every year, or do we want things that are built to last? The answer to that question is going to shape not just the stuff we buy, but the world we live in.